Welcome back to the channel. Thank y'all for hanging with me on this Sunday. So this is the time of year where my lipless crankbait colors are going to be a lot more simple, a lot more basic. I'm really not going to get into all those oranges and reds and chartreuses that I throw earlier in the year in the spring, where I really think I need to get their attention through bright colors. I'm going to keep it natural and I'm going to keep it very simple. So a lipless crankbait for me is always a bait that revolves around flats and ditches and wind. So on days where I don't have any wind, there's a lot of other baits, especially this time of year, like a soft plastic jerk bait, or even like a jig, maybe a spinner bait. If there's like a ripple, I'm gonna go to those baits first. And even a chatterbait, crankbait, all those baits are gonna play for me. I need a lot of wind for a lipless crankbait. So a lipless crankbait for me, big difference between it and a spinner bait is it is more relating to fish that are gravitating around the structure, not so much on the cover. So what I mean by that is if there's a flat, the flat may be covered with bushes. If I want to fish those bushes on the flat, it's going to be a spinner bait, close quarter fishing, making really good casts, keeping my bait accurate, and landing it right next to the bushes. On days where there's a lot of wind, more wind than I would typically fish a spinner bait, I think those fish are going to pull out and they're going to get on the structure. So they're going to be relating to that flat, but they're no longer relating to the bushes. They're going to be out in the ditch, and that's where the lipless crankbait comes in, because I can't really position my boat the same way I would when I'm close to the bushes, slinging that spinner bait around, or maybe on a real calm day, I'm close to the bushes, I'm flipping a jig or something. Now I'm going to be out because I know those fish aren't going to be tucked in real tight to the cover. They may still be close, but they're going to be pulled out, and I can keep that lipless crankbait in the strike zone while not worrying about prop washing the bushes or getting on top of the fish. I can make super long casts further than any other lure with that lipless crankbait, and I can cover all depths. So I can let it sink all the way down to the bottom. I can rip it up. I can yo-yo it. I can fish it really any other way to cover all the depths all the way down to the bottom of the ditch. But again, it's a flat, so I'm typically not fishing deeper than 5 feet, but I can keep that bait in all water columns while bringing it back to the boat. So this time of year, it's all about shad for me. I'm not really trying to imitate anything else yet. Maybe once we get into December, January, then I'll start moving over to some crayfish imitators. But I typically think a bass's main forage this time of year is a shad, so I'm gonna keep it simple. So sexy shad, any lake, doesn't matter what the watercolor is, as long as you have some stain. So most lakes where you're going to catch them on a lipless crankbait, you're going to have some stain. So here, Guntersville, the Tennessee River, we have a greenish stain that makes that sexy shad pop. So you got white with powder blue, a yellow stripe, and that's going to work really well on this lake. If you have coastal rivers, Florida, any lake or river with tannic, tea stain colored water, this is really going to pop in that too. So that's going to cover any of your lakes that have a stain. And then on your clear lakes, if you're fishing a flat, it's typically going to be in the back of a creek, so you're going to have some runoff. Maybe you're in a wind-blown pocket. That's going to stir up the bottom a little bit. So you're never really fishing this bait in super clear water. You know, if you're fishing it down a steeper bank or something like that, it's going to be more jerkbait territory, and the lipless isn't really going to play. So this is always going to be thrown in some type of stain where the fish are going to not get that great of a look at it, but still come a good ways to bite it because of all that wind. Now, that's strictly clouds for me, and again, always wind. So then on your windy, sunny days, chrome. That's all I need for those sunny days is some type of chrome. I like chrome and blue. I think that's a very simple color. To me, I think it's a staple when it comes to big fish. There's something about chrome and blue that just gets those bigger bites to gravitate towards your bait. It's like watermelon red, it's like June bug. There's just something special in a bass's DNA that likes chrome and blue. So chrome and blue for me. And I don't really get into any of those translucent colors. Again, I think on a lot of wind, you don't need something supernatural. I'm not crawling it on the bottom. I'm not putting it in front of the fish. They're coming a ways to eat it, and I'm not so much worried about how they're seeing it. I know they're feeling it. I know they're hearing it. And the flash from that chrome and blue reflecting the sunlight on those sunny days is going to get them to find it. So those are my two colors. Again, it's all about shad, not worrying about any of those fancy, bright springtime colors. It's simple, it's basic, but on those windy days where you can't catch them on a spinnerbait, it's all about a lipless crankbait. Try that. Good luck to you, and I'll see you on the water.